Last Pint Productions presents the New Way podcast. The New Way contains adult content, including VIP sections, Paul Lynde impersonations, and unbridled sexuality. Listener discretion is advised.
Mike Cera asked me to do coke with him. I've never done coke before.
Oh, you should do it. If you're gonna do cocaine, you gotta do it with Michael Cera. It's like playing basketball with Michael Jordan. Just be careful if you do a lot of coke with him. At the end of the night, he's gonna try and fuck you.
Trying to fuck me?
He's gonna fuck you, dude.
Like, sexually fuck me?
He's gonna fuck you. So,
No.
dude, I was at this party with Mike one time, and you know, what's that guy from Last King of Scotland? He was in there, and he was taking his shit, right? And Michael just kicked open the door. And
Everybody wants to be naked and famous. Everybody wants to be just like me. I'm naked.
Will you help teach me about this? What is it? A new way?
Boo! I just wanted to scare our in-house guys. Welcome to the New Way podcast, the new and improved New Way podcast, coming to you, broadcasting from Last Pint Production Studios in Boynton Beach, Florida.
Is it improved? I mean, anyone who is listening to this, can you tell that this is new and improved?
So to give you guys a little bit of history,
do we have a shiny new veneer?
Well, first of all, let's see who's here. I am your host, Matt Shank. I'm joined by Benjamin Effortless Wilson to my left.
Thank you.
Nicholas Santa Croce to my right.
Well, what's
far.
my middle name?
Nicholas. Oh fuck! I always forget this one.
You son of a bitch.
David? No. All right. Anthony?
It's an apostle.
Paul.
Yeah.
Paul! There it is. I was going to get there eventually.
First apostle. Yeah.
And of course, and our special in-house guest host, Mr. Kevin Thompson. I don't know your middle name either, Kevin.
I'd rather not say. No.
Hiding
It's
out.
Wade. It's Wade. There's
Wade?
no apostle. Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
Wade?
Yep.
The 13th apostle?
Yeah.
We talked about this, didn't we?
Did we?
Did we?
Dwayne Wade?
Didn't we
Kevin
go through our
Wade?
middle names
Yeah.
another episode?
I don't
No?
know. But
Yeah, if only I'd been to Dwayne.
You are listening, of course, to the New Way podcast, your one-stop shop for pop culture talk about movies, TV, radio, whatever it is, musicals, anything you could possibly think of in pop culture. We're going to cover it on the show. So we've gone through two kind of big milestones with our show. One was just getting on the air originally, past the episode where I talked about masturbating to Tom Hanks and somehow sustaining some sort of audience.
This was in 2013.
That was in 2013.
They said it couldn't be done.
and
No,
then
they said it shouldn't be.
we actually
Well,
from
people didn't stop to think if they should.
a small grant from the Tom Hanks Foundation allowed us to come back on the air again in 2016 with Nick Santa Croce coming into the show and brand new equipment. If you listen to the first 31 episodes, it sounds like we are talking out of a tin can, and it's mainly just Ben and me talking out of a tin can to one another.
Although
And then,
I do remember those old episodes, just in the outback patio with the Yeti mic. It was a soothing choir of crickets and toads you could hear audibly.
I did like the one episode from Bandera where it was like softly raining outside, and there was something soothing about
delightful.
the horrible things Hoot was saying and God's wrath outside of raining. But so we got new equipment, which was a huge upgrade for us. It sounded great, and we were using for those of you techies out there, we had a Behringer X1204 FX
Behringer?
USB.
I barely know her.
USB board, which is mainly a board built for doing live musical performances, like a church youth group would use to put together like a band on
I
stage.
wonder if that will come into play.
So, and we never recorded much live or any live music on it. No Gadwell Lane reunions were recorded in the studio,
Unfortunately.
So I really kind of started looking for something else that was a little bit more suited to getting what I want to get for you guys out there is a very consistent podcast sound, which I don't think we've had to this day because we were constantly just turning levels up and down. So I found this company from Australia called Rode, Rode, and I bought their. This company's very good. They have terrible naming conventions, but they make great equipment. The soundboard I bought is a Rodecaster Pro.
Roadcaster? I hardly know
There it
her.
is. And then the microphones I bought are called Rode Procasters, which is just the dumbest turn of whatever. But I will say these microphones they're Ben Wilson Cox. That's really all they're heavy, gigantic, thick
And black?
Black.
Can we go? Sure. Can we go one episode without talking about Ben
Yes,
Wilson's
please.
dick?
Let's do that.
No, that's kind of it's in our liner notes for iTunes.
Hey.
They expect it. Kevin Costner and Ben Wilson's cock.
Nick, did you hear that Doug Fister retired today?
Oh, don't you even lay that
actually,
one up.
let me
for
take
you.
that- let me
That's
take this one. Let me take
oh,
this.
God.
I did hear that, and I was very upset. Very upset.
So we have,
You did a good job. We'll be sorry
I'll
to see
never
him go.
recover.
That's actually true.
I know.
So long story short, we have brand new equipment.
Fister?
The Price Fister.
Fister, Roadster.
I sure did.
I got to change my list. Hold on. Where's the pen?
Oh
So
man.
for our listeners at home, we are now ASMR.
So my attempt at tagging Road in this podcast to maybe get us some things may go a little bit
Ooh.
south on here.
Well,
but
that's okay.
Well, Road also has a podcast.
I'm ready to
contest.
be a road warrior.
There it is. Ooh,
We
that
rode
could be
hard.
for our 2-minute podcast. Could be the Road Warriors. Could be the name of our podcast.
Come out and play.
I like that. I like this. But so yeah, we have new
Well,
equipment.
Road Warriors versus Road Warriors.
Here's
I like that you went Warrior.
Yeah, the sad
I went weird.
the sad fact of it is most of you probably can't tell the difference in the sound whatsoever. But I can
put on
tell the
some-
difference. That makes me happy.
Put on
So-
some headphones.
I feel way more professional. Yeah.
So, so one of the things I wanted to start off with on the show today is Kevin and Nick went and saw a concert this weekend, and I kind of want to hear about what was it like seeing the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones in 2019.
And Garlic Fest in John Prince Park.
A
Yeah,
lot of
it was-
garlic. You'd be
garlic
surprised what they're putting garlic on these.
I looked at Kevin. I went sarcastically. I'm gonna make a funny joke. We should get some garlic ice cream after this, and they did. They had a garlic
yeah,
ice
yeah.
cream stand. I can't imagine how foul that is.
You didn't wait. You didn't try it.
I was going to. We got very
yeah.
full.
You're always the
Garlic
one that's
beer.
like try everything.
I was gonna do it, but Kevin and I we got chicken fingers. We got
Yeah.
Chicken fingers.
Crab
Fingers,
cakes,
we
garlic,
got crab
garlic,
cakes.
crab
Garlic.
cakes,
Great
Yeah.
French fries.
garlic, tater tots. Yeah.
Yeah, we did it all.
Wow, you guys
But
really
yeah,
went the
it-
potato route.
But Kevin and I were like waiting in line for beer, and we played this game like Spot the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones super
And
fan.
they're out there. They
Who was there
they're
not
out
for
there.
Garlic Fest? They're purely because
Or
they're
spot
only...
the Bostonian too. That's
Yes.
without them having to open
Be
their
mighty.
mouth, but, yeah.
Right.
Find the,
The
masshole.
non-mighty
So
Bostonian.
now spot the mighty, mighty Bostonian.
The Mighty Mighty masshole is what I like to call it.
Ah, yeah. I've seen the Boston's like 14 times.
Yeah, what do you know about it? What do you know about it?
What, no, so, that's a legitimate. That's a legitimate question. Are there like super diehard Bostonians
Yes.
that are Boston's fans?
Yes.
Yes, that
Absolutely.
that was my joke.
I got the joke, but I didn't know if they actually existed.
Well, I mean,
There
They're
ha-
not
there
like
has to be. I mean,
Patriots fans.
I would say the level of
Well, the Patriots did come up on
there
stage.
has to that
Oh,
coincidence
no.
there has to be coincidental crossover there for sure.
in Philadelphia, the Boys to Men fans are the Motown Phillies. Everybody's like their own brand.
Motown Philly
Right.
going to get you up.
Motown Phillies back again.
So I assume they played, of course, their hits. What was your
Oh, yeah.
favorite
No,
song you got to hear
the
them play?
Boston's brought it, right, Kev?
I mean, I'm gonna say,
Sell out.
yeah, sell out. I'm just kidding.
Wait a minute.
No, it was. I mean, definitely. The impression that I get was the one everybody probably wants to hear. But everything
Not
was
Rascal King.
Yeah, well, it's great.
I'll go Rascal King. I will go.
I mean, I
Rascal
hate
King.
to say, you love the one song they're known for, but that's definitely
Did
Great
do
song.
they still have the guy that just skanks on stage and he
yes,
does
they
nothing
do.
else but
and he
skank?
skanked the whole time.
It's amazing. He's getting up there in age, so I'm kind of impressed that this keeps happening.
I didn't know he existed.
That's
He-
car-
of
that's
course.
cardio, dude.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
He.
I was expecting him to like step off to the side and kind of just like
I
Work
assume
out
he
the
Or
cramps
pick,
goes
now.
or
now.
pick up a tambourine
Yeah.
or something.
No. He doesn't.
or just
don't-
do the pointing, like just start pointing instead.
All he
but
did was
he went the
skank.
whole.
Nothing
he went,
gets in the way of his skanking.
He went all the rounds.
All right, one at a
He
time,
went
one
the
at a time.
distance.
I was about to say
These are
let-
fancy microphones. They can only.
Let's think about this for a minute. This guy has been on the tour bus with the Mighty Mighty Bosstones since like the mid '90s,
early
And-
90s.
'90s,
Could
and
be
all
before
he
that.
does not carry an instrument. I mean, I'm assuming he's got to be like, what do you have to leverage?
110.
What do you have to leverage to have that position? You have to be lugging like all of the fucking gear or something along those lines.
He sings little to no vocals. He like sang on
Just-
one song.
Just
He
jumps
doesn't
around.
have a microphone barely.
His instrument is cocaine before the show.
Yeah.
So I saw them in 96,
He plays the bumpatoles.
and I saw them again in like 2009 or 2008 at Sunfest. And it's the same show. Like, they have not. It is the one band that does not age whatsoever, for better or
they
for
had
worse.
great-
It's
great
the same
energy,
show. Same
great
show.
energy. Like,
That's amazing.
and they were like the East Coast ska.
Man, it's been
when
10 years
There
since
was
I
no
saw 'em.
East Coast ska.
Yeah, that's
Well,
awesome.
The
dude.
thing that's cool is not only they're a good band, they sounded good. The crowd was insane for the Boss Tones.
Oh, yeah.
Insane.
Yeah, there was a little bit of moshing.
That's
kinda.
the most moshing I have seen at a show in probably like 10 years. The most aggressive moshing. And
Wow.
to be said, I haven't been to a lot of shows with any moshing in the past 10 years.
Well, it's outside too. It's so it just spreads.
Still,
it
like,
spreads.
it was
Yeah.
intense. It was
I wish
like,
I had an aerial.
Yeah,
view.
luckily
Yeah.
we steered clear of that the Rosenstock show. There was a little bit of moshing going on.
Not really. I mean, that was nothing compared to the Boss Tones. I got to say, like,
What's the Rosenstock show? Oh, you're
It's a Jeff
Jeff
Rosenstock.
Rosenstock.
yes.
the Queers are playing on Friday.
Okay, that's
You
just
want to
rude,
mosh
Nick.
pit?
Where are they playing?
I think it's respectable, right?
Oh, are they?
Propaganda?
It's
I'm
propaganda.
not
or
wearing.
respe- oh, no, it's
I'm not
propaganda.
wearing sandals this time.
It's do
dude.
not ever wear sandals. to a
Worst
Queers.
story of my life.
I went and saw the Queers in 2005. The Groovy Ghoulies and the Queers, and my jeans.
Queers.
My jeans got
The
ripped.
Queers.
My
It
jeans
sounds like
got
a
ripped
Hanna-Barbera
all the way up past
cartoon
my
that-
knees.
How did that happen? Is it?
It's just people were
Just
moshing, and then
really
people would
just-
stomp on it, and you would move one
oh,
direction,
I
it would
got
rip
you.
more and rip more and rip more. But I was like walking with flaps on my legs.
Do you know
like,
that
all the way back? To
That's
the
how
place
the
I was
band
staying.
One Direction got their name. It was from moshing in a pit. They said your pants go one direction, you go the other.
Really?
It's a true story.
Do you have a cricket sound effect on that sound?
I can give you something like how about a little one of these?
It stinks.
There we go.
Yeah,
that'll
we need-
work for us. All right. Sorry.
we need
Sorry.
We need a cricket button. And we need the button over here by my place on the sofa.
I just need full access.
You
Well-
can reach over there right now, Kevin.
Yeah, you
Try
can
it.
push any one of those buttons.
Right.
Go ahead. Right, here,
Dealer
get these
choice,
guys
try
away.
it.
Put one on. Oh, Kevin pressed the all button, which is perfect.
Perfect.
You goddamn perfect bastard.
Okay.
How dare you? So
So it was fun.
So this is the other thing we have to talk about on this week's podcast. There's no way we cannot
Well,
talk
can I
about
make a request? I just don't want to talk about Albert Finney. Can we anything but Albert
Did he
Finney?
die?
That's not what I wasn't getting there yet, but
Oh, okay, sorry.
thanks for blowing that one.
Sorry.
We'll get to Albert Finney at some point here. I know
He did
more.
die, Kevin.
This is sad. More important than the passing of Albert Finney is the Aladdin trailer that premiered on the Grammys this week, and I don't know how we cannot discuss this for at least a few minutes here. If you've not seen it, the Aladdin trailer pops on, and it's pretty good as you start watching the beginning of it. You go, okay, there's some of the
There's not a
iconography.
single image in that
There's
entire
icono-
trailer that I
There's-
They're gonna pull it from theaters, I think,
iconography
after that
from the original animated film. There's some interesting things. We've got a high pitched Jafar. We haven't seen that before, but that's fine. And then we get to the reveal of Will Smith's genie, now who had appeared originally in production photos, in looking just like Will Smith with like a man bun and a goatee in his like human genie form. And everyone goes, well, why didn't you? Where's the blue genie? We want the blue. Give us the fucking blue genie. So they give us the blue genie, and everyone goes, ooh, we don't want the blue genie anymore. Can you please go back to the regular genie? And the design on this is, I don't understand what they thought they were
Fresh
doing.
Prince blued himself. That is what the best way you can describe it. There's no character design at all.
He has
it is
pointy
literally-
ears.
It is literally a bald, pointy-eared, blue Will Smith doing a bad Will Smith impression.
Yeah, and
It's pretty lazy. That's my biggest criticism. It's not anything that's really getting parroted around, but it just seems so fucking lazy to me. You got an unlimited budget. You got the mouse behind you, a team of incredibly talented and motivated art directors and new innovations of technology that you could only dream of, and you just made a blue Will Smith.
And they literally just gave us Thanos last year. They gave us a giant
it.
purple
Right.
main lead character in a movie that worked on just about every level last year. And that's where I'm kind of confused is that I don't know, like someone high up Disney said, okay, we're going to hire Will Smith. And either it's that Will Smith won't do it unless his face is on screen, or it's that they think that that it'll sell more tickets because his face is on screen. But they don't make any attempt to modify Will Smith other than pointy ears. They give him pointy ears, which you could do with makeup. Like it just makes no sense to stylize the gene. Like, and you could even have the human form look exactly like Will Smith. It makes perfect sense that he would shapeshift into something else.
It would, work better for a cartoon version of himself. Rather than...
Yeah, it just
And also he's shirtless and hyper realistic. It's uncomfortable.
Here's the thing: I don't know what you.
I don't
guys
mind his nipples
are thinking, but every single image to me in that entire trailer just looked fake and recreated and just like bullshit.
That's
and
the
so
movie.
He goes
That's
to
the movie.
Goes to Jafar and he's like, "Bring me the lamp," and then you're just like, "That's not the fucking Jafar that I remember. The terrifying Jafar." And then Will Smith
was
I'm just
never
like,
terrible.
Of course, the capper is this fucking blue marshmallow man fucking looking Will Smith.
Wait! Can we just make the third act of the new Ghostbusters movie the Will Smith genie from Aladdin?
I
And
think
everyone be
we
like,
should.
This is the most terrifying thing I could think of. That this is what the end of the Ghostbusters should be.
You like look out over the New York City skyline instead of the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. You see, oh, you never heard of me?
Well, and I felt bad that like I'll be honest, the first time I watched
Ray
it, I didn't.
Stantz just couldn't keep his fucking mind empty.
Jafar didn't even register for me that there was any problem with his voice. But
Me
man,
either.
did people fucking go to town?
I never
on that
noticed
guy.
it. I watched it
I didn't
once.
notice it at all. But they apparently. I mean, I remember the guy that did Jafar. It was a Broadway guy. He was in fucking. Has to see in business without really trying. This big fucking booming deep voice doesn't look like a Jafar, but was a great voice actor for him. I don't mind this guy being younger or smarmy. Jafar's kind of just a creepy fucking wizard. Why does he have to have a deep voice? I didn't understand that. But there were
doesn't.
way worse things we have to worry about in that movie.
Jafar didn't have a
It all
super...
just looked cheap to me. It looked fake. It looked cheap.
This is a high energy show. So the one thing about Jafar from the cartoon is that he wasn't like Scar, like a Jeremy Irons, just immediately scary. It was actually kind of androgynous, and he reminded me of sort of like Prince could have been a really good Jafar.
Like thin face, like he
like
was drawn perfectly
like
for
gout.
the voice and everything.
He's tall and imposing, but you feel like you could kick his ass in a fist fight.
Yeah.
There's something about just that he's one step ahead of you. That's the scary thing.
But he kind
One
of had
step
magic.
ahead of
He
the
kinda
big
had,
crowd.
like, a little magic, right? Like,
Yeah, well,
and yes, magic is also
yeah, magic.
yeah, he's super
I
magic.
mean, I'm not
Well,
going to jump into it if there's magic.
he can magic. Also, he can like hypnotize people, so it doesn't even matter. Like he could fucking he can
has a
sound as high
reality-
pitch as he wants. It doesn't matter.
He has a reality gem in
He
his scepter.
does. He absolutely does. So yeah, this movie, I have a feeling that this is the one thing that has the so on the Star Wars end they had Solo, which made them Disney rethink what their future in that franchise was going to be, and maybe we should not greenlight every idea we've got, and maybe not all. Even though Solo was actually a pretty good movie. I think Aladdin is going to be the one on this side because we've got Dumbo, we've got Lion King, we've got Avengers, we have a lot of movies stacked up this summer from Disney. We have new Frozen coming out in the fall. We have new Star Wars coming out, or actually Frozen and Star Wars both coming out in the winter. I think Aladdin's the one that like flops, and it flops bad, and that's the one where they're like, okay, maybe we don't make live action of every good thing we've ever done in the past, and maybe we get a little bit pickier about it. But I don't know. Who knows?
If I
Don't go ahead.
It's okay. If I don't get a, I forgot what I was going to say.
I was just gonna say, don't think too much, or don't give the mouse too much credit, because if they have proven anything, that's two things: they can print money, and they're always going to make shitty movies, regardless of what the common populace says or thinks that they should do. And they're also going to make good movies occasionally. Sometimes accidentally they're going to make good movies.
I think the thing with Aladdin's one of those tricky ones. It's expensive, and if it's that expensive and fails, you're like, no, just make another fucking animated movie. Make Frozen 3 before we make Aladdin.
I mean,
like another one of those.
This is
or live action Fox and Hound.
Remember, Disney is the studio that made one of the most expensive flops of all time in John Carter of Mars.
This is true.
So,
which should have been a good movie, but
should have been a good movie.
Yeah,
could have been a good movie.
If I don't get a
was in the
live
wrong
action,
hands.
Is it the idea of just people want to see the animation live action? What's the draw at this point?
It's our age group that's got kids that grew up on Aladdin, and those kids are going to go see something, whether it's Frozen 2 or something else. And I think more parents are going to go, I'd rather watch Aladdin again than watch, Cars 5. And I'm going to take more people. And it's a nostalgia factor. I mean, Beauty and the Beast was the big one 2 years ago, and it made fucking a gazillion dollars because it's nostalgia. Now, Beauty and the Beast was well cast. And
but I think too,
not
it was
a bad
because
movie.
It was a fresh idea. It's
Sure.
like, it's new. It's animate. It was animated film. Now they're doing live action. But now that novelty is going to wear off
Eventually.
where it's like nobody's going to care anymore.
Yeah, that's what I said. I mean, maybe Aladdin's too early for it to be the one that drags it down. Maybe it's one after that, but I think that return for them is gonna fail at some point.
when they come up with Aristocrats in 3D, that's when it will.
No, that's when I'll get excited again.
I'm in. I'm in.
With real cats, I mean, if you can get
John Favreau.
trained cats.
John Favreau will direct the live action Aristocats because his track record with the live action CGI animals is really good.
Well, that's something we're also
And
forgetting
Vince
is
Vaughn is gonna do the voice.
it's not just Jungle Book. We had Maleficent, which was live action Disney. We had Cinderella by Kenneth Branagh, which was live action Disney. This is not a brand new novelty.
No.
We're going through that catalog.
Oh, to me.
The only one we haven't gotten to is
I haven't
Ben's
heard about
beloved
this.
Sleeping Beauty.
But Maleficent was also kind of it was a twist. It wasn't
Sure.
it wasn't like a complete shot for shot recreation.
Oh, and they did They did the dwarfs too. They did Snow White in the Huntsman.
And the Huntsman, which is
That was different.
That doesn't count.
That was different.
That's
But
the
they-
best title ever, though.
But
I mean,
Kevin was talking about why is it such a need to shove these down our throats? But the cool thing is, a lot of people our age are having kids, and say if I had kids and a new Ninja Turtles movie came out, I don't care if it's Will Smith painted green as Michelangelo. Like me and my kid are going to go see Ninja Turtles because then I can relive that nostalgia with my own kid. And the truth of the matter is, they're making these movies not for you. They're making them for your kid.
Yeah.
would you have taken
to the point-
your kid to see Bay Turtles? The first one? You were very against that movie.
Well, I was, but ironically, I did end up seeing them, and they weren't that bad.
No, the second one was actually good.
They really weren't that bad. They were super fun. I was butthurt over the same exact thing. I was the Will Smith was too blue. Essentially, you gave the turtles noses, and it was this real rugged character design with the costumes, and made the turtles more street. And I got butthurt, and I boycotted it. And then I ended up, having a couple beers and watching it on your sofa and thinking, this is actually pretty fun. And they kind of got the characters right. I don't like the design of them, but
Yeah.
it was a fun movie.
I mean, I didn't like the first one that much, but I thought the second one was super fucking fun.
never even saw the second one.
Well, the
I didn't
second
see
one
the
had
first one.
the biggest
Got
problem with
Bebop
this.
and Rocksteady in it.
Yeah, the Bebop and Rocksteady were perfect, and Krang was right except for the voice, which was supposed to be Fred Armisen, and then he something happened with Fred Armisen, and they pulled him out, and they put Brad Garrett
he
in,
came down off his
which was
coke
like the
binge.
most opposite Fred Armisen voice you could pick. And he's not bad, but it is very clearly
try
Brad
to.
Garrett as Krang.
Oh, Shredder, you're going to make me a body. anytime soon.
Deborah.
She made him a sandwich. He didn't like
They
it.
had to fire Fred Armisen after an hour. They were like, "Why do you keep saying Tanaka?" He's like, "Krang, Tanaka."
Okay, so let's get to our topic at hand tonight. So we previously last
Rest in peace,
year,
Albert Finney.
Yes, rest in peace, Albert Finney. I mean, I don't want to give him. I want to give him more time in the next episode. So we're going to talk about him in the Oscar episode. And
That's
and
actually
some of
not
his
a
great
bad
things.
idea
Yeah,
because
I
he was
agree.
nominated for like 5 Oscars.
Exactly.
I'm boycotting our Oscar episode because the ceremony is taking away cinematography and editing.
Well, that's why you're going to write your monologue of how you feel the Oscars should open with you as the host this year, which is by the way, that's what you guys are tuning in for next week. We are doing our Oscar picks. We also kind of want to talk about the history of the Oscars, movies we feel maybe deserved to get Oscars that didn't,
Absolutely.
things that won Oscars that shouldn't have. But the big thing you're tuning in for, just to remind, there's mainly to remind the people in this room.
It's a 2.5 minute monologue.
A 2.5 minute monologue that we are going to present live on air for the Oscars of how we would open as the non-Kevin Hart opening of the Oscars. So definitely tune in that to the one next week. So last year we did a podcast called Fictional Character Dinner Party, which we had John Arthur in studio. It was a really fun time. And the idea was that we wanted to put together a dinner party of 5 guests of fictional characters. So I remember John Arthur brought like every serial killer ever like put on film.
And Sharon Stone.
And and with Hannibal Lecter cooking their ex-lovers at the table. Go check that episode out, guys. It's a lot darker than you're expecting, but we decided to kind of turn that one a little bit tonight. And tonight I'm calling our episode Celebrity Soirée. I mean, like that one right there. And the idea is that we are going to gather 5 living present day celebrities. And I told everyone, you're in charge of the night or whatever it is. What activities are being done? Do you want to serve something special? Do you want to have certain drinks or libations or drugs or whatever it is on hand? Where are you going to have this? What are you going to do? And you're in charge. There's no in our scenario, someone's footing the bill, so it's no expense spared. Whatever you want to do and why with these specific 5 people. So who's bold enough to say they want to go first?
I can go first.
All right, let's hear it, Nikki.
Do it.
I didn't want to overthink this one too much. Okay.
Hey, actually, first, before we actually do it, wait. I have an idea.
There's a challenger.
There it is.
I have an
There
idea.
it is.
No, wait, hold on. I have an idea.
You weren't brave enough to raise your hand.
No, I don't want to go first. You want to go first, but I had a quick concept. Really, that I'm sorry I didn't say it earlier. Can I just make one guess for everybody? And I think we should go around the room, and everybody should take a guess about somebody who they think is on somebody else's list.
Okay, I'm not averse to this.
Sure.
Right. So Nick,
Hey, Nick.
And I
well,
don't
you
wanna
already
be
know
the
who's
first
on
one to do
Kevin's
that.
list.
Hold on 1 second.
Yeah.
I know
Then you
one
can go
that
first.
may or may not be on Kevin's list.
Nick, is Danny Elfman on your list?
He is not.
Okay. Matt, is Kevin Smith on your list?
he is not.
Oh man,
Oh,
'cause
wow.
I kind of want to take Kevin Smith now.
Hey, go ahead, you got him.
Kevin, is Dana Carvey on your list?
No.
Paul Lynde. You gotta
Paul
guess
Lynde.
Oh,
But
Lynn
he's
has
dead.
to be on the list.
Paul Lynn's rotting corpse.
When Kevin's at the party, Paul Lynn's there whether he is or not.
Does anybody else have any guesses? For anybody?
We'll wait until it's their turn, then we'll all go around like that again.
Yeah. I
That'll
don't
be
know.
what we do to kick off.
I don't
I
have any
honestly
good
say
guesses.
it's going to be hard to guess because it was hard to really come up with things, and it just depends too.
Well, Nick knows one
what
of mine
your
'cause we've talked
mindset
about it
is
before.
to just who's on your mind at a certain time. And then if you're trying to like do musicians, actors, actresses,
I like that Kevin mentioned earlier about athletes, which is very
Athletes, yeah.
interesting. When I didn't think of that on my set,
because I
but,
was thinking my whole thing was I started thinking a lot of dead people that are
Yeah.
already dead.
When Kevin asked, "Can we do dead?" I said, "Let's make it present." I think
Yeah.
we do another one after this that's more nostalgic, past ones. All right, so let's just go with you, Nick. Let's hear who you
Sorry
have
to
in the party.
interrupt. That's
okay.
what I was asking.
I
So I want to. I'm sorry, just kidding.
I kind of wish I did put Dana Carvey on my list. Though.
Any more treats?
well, if you call this lineup of 5 celebrities a treat, then yes,
Then
Matt.
there you go.
I sure have one for you.
All
I
right.
didn't want to overthink it because I knew that you guys would. So I really went kind of basic here, and this is why this is a good opening answer.
You a basic bitch. Sorry.
Now I knew that people would go, okay, try to burst it out, think of different movies or TVs, and now Kevin thought of athletes, and then you sent a text to say, also, wherever you want to go, carte blanche, you want to go, if you want to be at the Space Needle, and the Space Needle has rocket on the bottom, and then it goes to Mars, you can do whatever you want. That's part of it. And I knew you probably have some elaborate fucking night planned out. I haven't planned the night at all. And that's exactly why I picked the 5 people that I picked. 5 people that would go with the flow, be fun, compliment each other.
But exactly. You have to keep that in mind too. You can pick
Yep.
5 random celebrities, but
So
will they
they're
get
they're
along?
they're
Are they
going to
gonna get
dictate
along
your
if
night.
You put
I like
them in
this.
a room, and
I like this idea.
Absolutely, Kevin. So I thought, okay, well, you know what? It's just a classic, unforgettable night. I'm not going to reinvent the wheel here. We're going to Vegas. We got a penthouse in Vegas.
that was on my list.
And then
too,
we're going to
by the
go
way.
out. Yeah. I love it. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, but here's the thing about Vegas, though. You go to Vegas, and you either have the best time of your life,
Or the worst night
or
of
the
your life.
worst time of your life. It's very
And that's, either way, you go back.
Sometimes
but,
sometimes on the same trip.
You go back, yeah.
Speaking of which, we're going there for Kevin's 40th birthday in August.
Yeah.
Oh, snap.
So let's hope it's going to be a good story, not a bad story. But I think with our group, much like the one with in Vale, we're all getting along fine. Have a great, unforgettable night.
Right.
That's what I want. I want like. So years later, you're telling the story of that night and how it unfolded. And the good thing about Vegas is that there's so many different things you can do. You can walk the strip. There's a million casinos. Inevitably, you get drunk enough and you end up at a strip club. There's live music. Well, I mean, if you want the full Vegas experience, you got to go to a strip club at some point, right?
Yeah.
Right? But here's the thing: strip clubs
Or
can
a
be
brothel,
strip clubs can be depressing, or the Moonlight Bunny Ranch.
Yeah.
Correct. But that's another thing. If you do end up at a strip club, if these 5 celebrities say we want to go to a strip club, what are you going to say? No, Matt? No, you'd say yes. So you want celebrities that would actually make the strip club fun, and that's what got me thinking.
Cardi B.
Well,
My two
It seems to me
things.
you started with the location, and then you were like, okay, now let's
Who
get the
makes Vegas
celebrities.
fun?
Yeah.
Well, my first, went to Vegas this way. I actually thought about 3 things. They all want to get along, compliment each other. Number 2, they have to hang at karaoke, and number 3, they'd have to be able to
Naturally.
make a strip club fun. And then I go, okay, well, we're going to Vegas. Okay, number 1,
Vince Vaughn.
I was going to make it 10 seconds earlier, and I couldn't do it.
I
I
could have
couldn't
said that
do
for
it.
that, like that.
I couldn't do it. I couldn't do
Vince
it.
Vaughn is not invited to my Vegas party.
I'm so sorry, Nick.
Vince Vaughn is not invited.
Nick, just understand I had the same urge and I held it in.
It's only natural. So the first
it on
one,
the inside.
the first one is Miley Cyrus.
I knew I would have guessed.
Wow.
That was the one I would have
Miley.
guessed for years, 100%.
The very first person I thought of was Miley Cyrus. Number 1, here are 2 things about Miley. She parties, and she has a reputation for partying. But how many Lindsay Lohan-esque, on the sidewalk or like slumped over in the Range Rover pictures really exist of her? She can handle it.
She peed in public once, but
she's
other than
still
that, she's
kinda
been pretty
young,
classy.
right?
more
Like,
than once.
She's still kind of young, right? She's not.
Yeah.
like,
Oh yeah.
you know,
Absolutely. She can.
She's still 20s. So get
She
her
can
at
hang.
30s.
she can party, but she hasn't really gotten in trouble, which tells me that. Like
She got married now, so now
she's
it's-
an
I
honest
think
woman. Yeah,
I think she's gonna tone it down, maybe.
she's got a husband to live for now. She can't get too crazy in Vegas, which is another thing
For
too.
the next year and a half.
You want to get too crazy?
That's why
in
you have
Vegas?
to hurry up and do this party.
Dark.
Until Nick's Vegas party.
Now,
Marriage is ending shortly thereafter.
at a strip club or at a karaoke bar, Miley
It's not going to be
Cyrus-
annulled, but it's the next
But
best
here's
thing.
the crazy thing. Imagine Miley.
gonna be a Nick.
Imagine Miley Cyrus at Ellis Island, because she would fucking slay there. That
Oh,
would
she
be
would.
amazing.
And that's where you got to go,
That's
Nick.
a great.
That's
picnic
where you
for that.
got to
That's
go.
awesome.
I think Miley gets dragged for so many stupid things. She looks like so much fun. She's clearly way smarter than everyone gives her credit for.
Her
Can I
godmother is
can I ask
fucking
you a
Dolly
question?
Parton.
Can I ask you a question about the night?
Yes,
I know you don't have plans for the night, but I know that you're Nick and you're going to have some plans.
a little bit. Yeah.
Miley brings you up on stage at Ellis Island, and she says, "I want to sing a song with you." What song do you choose? It's your song of choice with Miley.
I mean, spur of the moment, I'd go Human League. Don't you want me, baby?
Ah, it's good.
I could see.
Yeah, I could
But-
hear her doing
but-
that.
but I'll-
you don't
I'll
think you
think
go
about
country? You don't think you lean into the country with her a little bit? A
I don't
little
know.
Jolene?
That's not
No,
a
I
duet.
think that's a good decision.
That's not a duet.
Okay, all right.
But
It's not a duet though.
or a Conway
Okay.
Twitty, Loretta Lynn.
Oh, I mean, Islands in the Stream is another like classic way to go on that countryside.
Oh,
Whew.
well, Portland, Oregon.
Yeah, I like that too.
That ain't love, now tell me what it is.
Or,
By the way, those of you listening, we're gonna have a supplemental track listing of Nick's karaoke night in Las Vegas with Miley Cyrus. That's coming up later in 2019. So
Go to the Last
tune in.
Pint Spotify playlist. so
Not just yet though. Wait a little while.
But end of 2019,
Wait a little while before
featuring
you go look that up.
Sicko Mode and
quarter
Despacito.
4. All right, who else you got, Nikki?
So Miley is my slam dunk. There's no way you go up with Miley Cyrus and not have a great night.
I wanted her on mine, but I knew you were going to take
There's
her,
no way.
so I couldn't
Okay.
do it.
So she's number 1. Number 2, Mr. Bill Murray.
Oh yeah.
See,
Now-
I knew that one was going to show up on some of these lists.
Now, Bill was an obvious choice too because we know he can hang with anybody because he literally hangs with anybody, and that's what he's known for: showing up to frat parties that open up the door to him. He seeks out a good time and he enjoys connecting with people, so you know he's going to get along. Plus, he has a built-in relationship with Miley, so you know they're going to have an awesome time as well. They were in the Christmas special
Christmas
together.
special,
yeah.
yeah.
The sexual tension was palpable.
It's so funny.
Right?
You're so the night you've chosen, it couldn't be farther from like because
It's your worst nightmare, isn't it, Matt?
No, you're not. Do you know how right you are? I literally have a list on the bottom of my sheet right here. Are people not allowed at Matt's thing? And Bill Murray is on there because I love Bill Murray, but I can't predict what Bill Murray is going to show up and if he's going to be a fucking asshole Bill Murray. But I like you're gambling. You're
Don't
playing
you
with matches. I like it. It's exciting.
But I'm gambling.
I just can't do it.
Well, I haven't finished off naming up my crew.
It's the wild card. Why wouldn't you want that wild card?
Now, Bill, and this is why you roll the dice, Matt, because Bill is going to have a integral part in the evening at some point, throwing something random and crazy against the wall, and it's going to stick because he's Bill Murray, and it's going to be stuff that no one thought of, and something that would never happen had he not been there.
Got
the
it.
Bill Murray story, classic Bill Murray story, right?
The Murray story.
Plus, with Tom Hanks tagging along,
Oh no!
It's just the next.
Did
You
you
know-
really?
you know that Tom is going to keep him in check.
What have you done?
Now, Tom.
The yin and the yang is that.
What did you do, Nick?
Now, Tom.
That was a good segue though to bring
Yeah, it
in.
was,
the
right?
next
I'd
guy.
watch this movie.
I know it's a good idea, right? I'm glad I thought of him.
What is
So-
Well,
happening?
that was the Groundhog Day. You know, Tom Hanks was supposed to.
I thought that it would be great to have him along.
Oh no!
In case someone wanted to see if what we were saying about him was true in
Poor
bed.
Tom.
No, but
Yeah, Tom definitely would be dragging that.
How
night.
dare you? How
I
dare you?
don't know if Tom could hang the
How
whole night.
dare you?
now we've all seen Bachelor Party. We know Tom Hanks can party,
Oh.
and he still can. You know the funny things that show up on the interwebs when someone falls asleep at a diner at 2 a.m. after
I've
drinking,
seen- yeah.
and who
He
shows
has
up
Murray stories.
at 2 a.m. drinking as well? Tom Hanks. So you know he could still hang. He's not a prude, but he is more put together than everyone else in this list. And I think that he's sort of he's a father figure to the world. And I think that just his mere presence will keep everybody a little in check.
He's like a 3-drink minimum, you know.
Yeah, and maybe you could probably talk him into a little more, but he's never going to be irresponsible.
No.
He's going to hold everybody accountable, ultimately. But he's not going to be a wet blanket.
No.
You see? He toes the line very well. So we got Tommy there, which I think is going to be great for Bill. And I think Molly's going to be really excited to spend some quality time with him finally. Next up, Amelia Clark.
Oh, he's going for the eyebrows.
Now, yeah, well, of course. Amelia
Her
is-
eyebrows are just gonna hold everything in contention.
They're the soundproofing
Yeah,
for when
yeah.
things get crazy.
If you've seen any interview with Amelia Clark, she is just absolutely charming. She's such a good conversationalist. You have so much fun with her. You get to geek out about Game of Thrones, get her a little drunk, get her to
I see it breaking off into
indulge
two
the
fractions: Tom Hanks, Amelia Clark, and then Bill Murray and Miley Cyrus. There,
I figured it out. I cracked the code.
I see what you're doing.
I cracked the code. What's happening over there? A lot of
I heard
squeaks.
that.
Amelia Clark
tell you what's happening.
could help me geek out about Game of Thrones.
That's happening.
That's what you're gonna be hearing a lot of at your party, by the way, when Bill Murray is there.
Polishing knobs.
That's
Sounds
wrong.
awful.
You said it sounded great earlier. You wanted that drop.
Oh, it was the.
Nice. Nice clean sound effect. Tell us if that sound effect sounded better on your
on the-
this week.
Let us know in your emails, the thousands of them you send to us every month.
if you got this far. Amelia Clark, the thing about her is I don't know her very well, and I think that I have a hunch about her. She seems like she would be up for anything, and she would be a lot of fun. And I think you need kind of another wild spirit there to keep the energy going all night. Because when you're in Vegas, you can't call it a night at midnight. Like you're shitty party, Matt. You got to keep going. You got to live it the whole night. You got to watch the sun come up. You know.
What party have I ended at midnight? You cold dark bitch. That's right. Continue.
Cold dark bitch. You must have kissed on the lips.
Oh, good for you.
My last spot is Christian Bale. How? No, it's Jennifer Lawrence. It's Jennifer Lawrence. I'm not a huge Jennifer Lawrence fan, but again,
But I think they'll all get along. I do see that as a very cohesive crowd. Yeah.
So I'm hearing 3 women and then 3 men. Okay, I see where we're going here, and a little pairing up.
Oh no! Well, Bill will get it 1 or 2. There's no way Tom is
He's
not
not
going
touching
sideways
anybody.
on Rita.
No.
So you never know. You never know.
What
It
if
could
he
happen.
What if he sneaks Rita in for you, and he's like, "I'm really into watching my wife with other men." Do you think Tom would do that?
I mean, the real question is, could you say no to Tom Hanks?
No
To
one
his
can
face.
say no to Tom Hanks.
To his face.
And no one will ever tell that story because no one will ever believe
No,
it.
That's Bill's job.
I
But
banged Rita Wilson in front of Tom Hanks. Sure you did.
Then again, the last one is J Law because again I'm the biggest fan of hers, but I picked people that I thought would really get along, would be up for anything. We wouldn't get no one would die, but with that crew, I feel really confident that you come out of that with just like the best stories of all time. You're just cruising the Vegas Strip,
I can dig it.
seeing shows, staying all night doing blow off of hookers.
Well, and think about the places those people know in Vegas. Like
Sure.
those people know places
they
to go
know.
in Vegas. You've never been. You can never
maybe
get
they
into it
don't.
again.
Well, impossible, but
Yeah.
I would be there right there.
Yeah, that's where you end up
supplementing there.
in some weird like back room that's pink playing cards at like 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yes,
That's what I want.
$1,000 hands.
And that is probably what Bill Murray got us into. Most
Probably.
likely.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, he knows the places. I like it.
Yeah, have a good meal somewhere.
I like it. Is
Go to
that
Vegas.
is that
That's
is that
it. That's fine.
any other special requests or anything on there? You good?
Requests?
I know. I mean, anything else on your night that you think will elevate it or do anything? I just want to make sure you got everything you wanted to say.
Well, I'm definitely getting a lap dance next to Bill Murray, like sitting directly next to Bill Murray.
I mean, I think you need to pay to watch all 3 of the ladies get a lap dance. I think that's the move, right?
now we know where Matt said it.
But then again, though, see, now I'm not even taking it the pervy way. Is there a woman in this group that would say absolutely not? I'm uncomfortable or wouldn't have fun with that.
Maybe Amelia Clark.
Yeah,
No way.
That's the first thing that popped in my head.
No way.
I don't. I think she's a little straighter laced
She's
than
not
you
a
think. She's
Vegas-
not Jennifer
no
Lawrence.
Vegas trip.
And I think Jennifer
She'll be
Lawrence.
okay.
I think Jennifer Lawrence pusses out at last minute. I think Miley looks at the other 2 and is like, "What the fuck's wrong with you guys? Let me show you how it's done." And she like
Well, if
makes up
Miley-
for both of them.
If Miley's there, anyone will be lucky to get a
yeah,
stripper.
yeah,
Well, it's funny
exactly.
because you picked 3 women and 2 guys, which was
A little on
I
the
don't-
nose.
Yeah.
But hey,
All right. Well, so,
I'm nothing but predictable.
so let's go on to Kevin, who's our guest host tonight.
Let me guess. I'm gonna guess.
Don't guess if you saw it on his
I
list.
didn't. I only saw one. Captain Beefheart.
Dickie Barrett.
That was wait. I have to flip this around. Oh yeah. Wait, I was reading it upside down.
Oh shit.
Well, I didn't really pick 5 because I really didn't think about how they were going to get along together.
Ooh.
So what did you pick?
Well, I have a list.
Okay.
But Bill Murray was on that list, so we're gonna cross
he's
him
at
off,
next
yeah.
party, so he can't come to yours.
But I picked Eric Clapton just
Ooh,
because as a
okay.
personal choice.
But what if he
just-
has tears in heaven over his 5th whiskey?
God damn it, Nick! I was just gonna make
Well,
a tears in
yeah.
heaven.
You
I
do,
mean,
you
he-
do realize
he's not drinking now, so
he
you
hasn't
know.
drank in
Come
like
on.
20
Listen,
years.
So,
If I got in the mic
So-
before someone else, I earned that joke. Okay.
but it's okay because everybody else here, I didn't go with a hardcore crew. Then I picked Michael Jordan for,
Oh, don't take him to Vegas.
Holy
yeah.
shit!
We're not going to Vegas. We have
He'll lose all his money.
So basically
we're gonna end up at Chuck E. Cheese.
all this is all this is for all of the people is it's hell.
Yeah,
It's just
well,
like
it's just
temptation,
how
temptation.
everybody gets along. Well, Chuck E. Cheese, we're gonna go to Chuck E. Cheese.
Are you serious that
that
is your
So
answer
the
for real?
alcohol, yeah.
Oh
So
my
the
God,
alcohol.
Nice.
Well, I had
my
Las
God.
Vegas too, but I'm
He's
I'm
going
narrowing
to
it down.
he's going to the Chuck E. Cheese in
So-
Henderson,
so
which
we're
is
gonna-
right next
Oh
to
my
Las
God.
Vegas.
Oh my god.
just outside that narrow strip. When you
Yeah.
You go left. You don't go right. You keep going, then you go left. Yeah.
The Reno.
to the right.
The Reno Chuck.
Right. I'm in the stay on the right.
Stay to the right.
The biggest little
Yeah.
Chuck E. Cheeses
Yeah.
in the world.
And then I also picked Mr. Chuck Norris.
Oh, that's a good one.
Holy shit.
That's a good one.
Because these
gonna
old
be the
people
most-
are they're bigger than life, so you just want to see. They probably would be really boring in a room.
Do you know how many memes are going to come out of this party of yours? Like every meme that has ever existed.
I like it.
All right, and then I had Christina Hendricks. That just
All
right.
didn't want to leave her out.
Sprinkling her in.
She'd get upset if I had a
Ben
party.
She's also larger than life.
Ben is licking his lips so hard right now.
Ew. Gross.
I could hear it on these new mics.
And then I had a list of alternates, but I'm going to go with Betty White. And then
You know what's funny is Betty White actually kind of popped up in my head at one point. I was just like, that would be kind of funny
Should've
just
gone
to. But I was like,
like
we're talking
Betty
about
White.
right now. Betty White, even though I know she could hang, wouldn't, and everyone would just would be overly reverential to her.
Absolutely.
I mean, if we started early, you got to start early. You got to start.
You're like, we started the senior buffet.
Yeah, we start like 12, and we ended about 5, 6.
I love his alternates. His alternates list is almost as good as the rest of it.
Yeah.
I'd like. Well, let's hear his regular stuff first, and let's go into the alternates. I'd like to hear those too.
I need to hear reasoning.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, they were just people that popped up because the first 3 were definitely larger than life in a way.
Yeah, they're legends, like respective legends.
I just had to think about well, I thought Clint Eastwood too, and I didn't have him on the list, but it's just. And
You
it's
might
sad
bring it down a
because
little bit.
people are starting to drop off too. Like people you could easily name are not with us anymore. Albert Finney.
God damn. This is the worst tribute to Albert Finney we've ever done.
We've never done one.
That's
I just
right.
found
That's
out.
why it's the worst.
I found out
I'd
right
make
now.
a tribute to Albert Finney, but he was only an alternate.
Yeah. Wait, hold on. I had upside down. He's right. Oh, he was in the corner.
He was on my list before we started this podcast.
Yes, I had to cross him off.
He was a little fish in a big pond.
God
no.
damn you.
I mean,
Nick.
I don't know if
God
there really
damn
was
it.
reasoning. It was just really hard to name people.
you-
So I went with an eclectic bunch that probably wouldn't get along together. I went the
You never
opposite
know.
road.
You never know.
So you're kind of looking for an anarchy.
I mean,
night.
at Chuck E. Cheese too, I don't know really how that would go.
Do you now?
You can
We'd
play
have to bring her kid. Somebody would have to bring a kid.
now, do
You
you
can't get in. They won't let you in without a child
probably be
chaperone.
grandkids.
in your Chuck E. Cheese scenario? Do you give them unlimited quarters, or are they on a limited budget so they can only play as much as they can
apparently
win?
They could play as much as they want. They could do whatever they want to the animatronics.
Oh my God,
Anything?
that's dark.
Yeah.
Anything? Oh my God.
I'm not gonna stop them.
Five guys at Chucky's.
Who do you think is going to cause the most? Who do you think is going to cause the most ruckus at your event?
Probably Chuck Norris. No.
They named it after
I don't
him.
think any of them really drink. I should have really thought about who was going to be super fun, but
Well, it's hard to get beer at that place, right?
well, no, you
Chuck
can
E.
get
Cheese,
beer.
no,
You
it's
can
very
get beer.
easy to get beer
okay.
there.
Okay.
They made it easier.
I think they know. They know what they're doing.
Ben Wilson answered that one quick.
Chuck E. Norris. Think
Well,
about
proud parent of 2 over.
Well, we have a great picture of Nick Santacroce at Chuck E. Cheese with his pedo stash
My stash was strong when I was there. It's the
with
fullest
a
it's been in
beer
years.
and a pedo stash.
Do you think that Chuck Norris's first thing is to kick Chuck E. Cheese's ass and say there can only be one
Yeah,
Chuck in this
maybe.
joint?
yes.
But think about the Instagram you could have. Getting drunk,
I mean,
playing
yeah.
Papa Shot with Michael Jordan with tickets coming out.
What
of
is
it or something.
what's the hashtag for your event, Kevin?
It would be
Kevin, you didn't come
Chuck.
prepared with the
yeah,
hashtag?
Chuck at Chucky's. I don't know.
Chuck it,
Chuck
I
and
like Chuck
Chucky's.
and Chucky's.
And then we but little Chucky,
Get Chuck.
Chucky the doll. You can,
Ooh, 3 Chucks on Chuck. I like this. Just all people named Chuck.
At Chuck E. Cheese.
You can get Charlton Heston on that one too.
Yeah, or
by default. But,
Charles Scott Baio if he
Charles in charge.
worked the legal troubles out. Yeah, I don't want to. Yeah.
Now, do you have any other what activities do you think you guys are going to gravitate
Well,
towards?
they would clearly be the Chuck E. Cheese activities. There would be skee ball.
Yeah.
I
Who would-
haven't
who
been to a
would-
Chuck E. Cheese lately. I'm gonna have
Here's
to,
the thing: I wouldn't sleep on her. I think Betty White would win in skee ball.
I wouldn't sleep on
She
her.
would be conservative. She would hit the 20 most of the time, but she'd do it every time.
Consistency.
Yeah.
Because she was born in the 20s.
That's
the magic number, yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
She remembers her time at Coney Island sharpening her skee ball skills.
Then I feel really bad for Christina Hendricks because she's going to be the youngest one there.
I mean, hold on a second, though. I don't think you feel bad for her. I think you understand that
well,
she's
I'm going to be there too,
gravitate,
right?
yeah.
I mean, we forget that,
Exactly.
you forget that you're attending your own party.
She is going
right?
to, you've literally made the only party where Christina Hendricks is like, well, the only person I can talk to here is Kevin. and they're all off doing their crazy things, being the best at whatever. And you're like, hey, baby, how's it going?
She could be like the mom, like taking care of all the kids.
That's what I was about to say. I was like, all the kids are like, why is everyone gravitating to her breasts?
Mama. God damn it.
That should have been a sound effect.
I love it.
Oh, no, you don't, Beth. That's wrong. That's wrong. You should not say that. Wow.
It's the sloppiest episode we've ever had.
I think that's an overstatement. We've had some very sloppy episodes.
List, yeah.
We upgrade the equipment to near perfection. It's the sloppiest fucking episode we've
Exactly,
ever
because
done.
it's picking up all of
really
our
don't
imperfections.
think
I think we're doing okay. Now, Kevin, who are on your throwaway list? Who are the ones that couldn't get in the
they
door?
weren't throwaway. They
They couldn't make it in the door.
strategically placed to where
They showed up at the Chuck E. Cheese, and the bouncer said, "Sorry, you're not on the list."
Dolly Parton was on there.
Yes.
There you go.
Dolly
Parton-
should come to Vegas to meet
Dolly-
Miley.
yeah.
Miley's godmother.
Dolly and
'Cause Dolly would
Christina
be up for a
Hendricks.
lot,
That's
know.
is that
she would.
Chuck E. Cheese big enough for both of
She's
them?
very. We'll find out. Yeah.
Between her and Christina Hendricks.
I mean,
that'd
the
be
ball
crazy.
pit. They might have to take extra balls out of the ball pit, but I mean, other than that, they'll be all right. Yeah.
And
I
between
have to
her
take my balls out of the ball pit.
All these balls keep nutting everywhere. What's going on with them?
and between her and Christina Hendricks, I mean,
I just said that.
I know. And then
You said it a third time.
I know.
God damn it.
I almost picked Dollywood. It was between Vegas and Dollywood.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
never
Do
been
you
to Dollywood,
Do you
so
know
I
how
couldn't
wet
really
Miley
say.
would get at Dollywood? I mean, seriously. Okay, that's
What
a
do you
quote.
mean? I don't know what do you mean by that?
Because that's her mecca of country. That's the mecca of country music.
Wait,
is
you mean
Dollywood.
literally when she rides the log flume? What are you talking about?
You're
Dollywood?
You're being really obtuse
I'm
right
confused.
now. How
Explain
dare
it
you?
to me.
Oh,
No, but I also thought amusement park would be a fun place because you could
Yeah.
if things got awkward, then you just go on Space Mountain and then come back out.
Just go
and
on a
regroup.
ride.
You regroup.
taking a ride. There you go. All right. Who else on there, Nick, Kevin?
Brian Wilson.
Oh my God.
I like Brian
He
Wilson.
might not be super talkative. I don't know.
This next one is the one that I
That's
I
a
saw
hardcore hit.
This next one is I saw the
Brian Wilson.
Yeah.
I can't get over that
So
one.
so now the Chuck E. Cheese is looking a little bit different.
What were you
now.
going to say, Nick?
No, I said
We'll let him in, but only if he shows up, after 8.
I saw the next one. This is the one that I saw, the only one that I saw, and I'm very excited.
Harry
about this
Nilsson?
one. I wish this had made the final cut.
Well, he's dead.
Who is it?
Say it, Kevin.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah,
Suspense is killing me.
Cher.
big Cher. I was like, Cher.
Was that your Cher impersonation?
Yeah, I mean it's no Paul Lynn. It's no Paul Lynn, but I mean.
I can feel something inside me.
I don't know. Maybe
So,
I'm really emotional.
Oh my God.
Can we rename Kevin's list to people I love who I want to meet before they die?
Exactly. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, you got me. You got me.
Oh my God.
I really don't think it's strong enough. No.
I'm glad that I made it only living people, because if Paul Lynn was at that Chuck E. Cheese, he would not be enjoying himself.
I don't
in
know
that
if Paul
crowd.
Lynn could get into that Chuck E. Cheese.
This is
I
terrible.
don't think they'd. What do you mean I can't come into Chuck E. Cheese?
Mr. Lynn, your phone.
I'll go find a little boy. I can find a little boy, no problem.
No, he told us not to let you in, Mr. Lynn. Your photo's right here under the cash register. I'm sorry.
That Papa shot is
I mean, I'll come back with 3 or 4 boys.
Mr.
Don't,
Lynn, you do that.
don't tempt me with a good time.
We will call the police, Mr. Lynn. Do not do that.
Oh man. Is that everyone on? Is that
I'll
all
just
your-
take up sausage pizza to go.
The big sausage.
a Sicilian cut? Thanks.
A smorgasbord.
I've been circumcised. Well, thank
That I
God
did.
Paul Lynn is living on in this podcast in his small way. What if he turned out to be actually alive and faked his death? And
That would
like,
be amazing.
Thanks for keeping me alive, kids.
I mean, we did invent the thing about him being into children out of the blue, right? That wasn't.
I know he's just into young men.
But yeah, he
Yeah.
was,
Young
I think,
men.
really, he liked the young men around.
Anyone else on there?
Well, as long as
Then
he
I
didn't
had-
direct a movie about Queen, he's okay.
Then I had a duo here that can't be overlooked. Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly.
Oh, that's good.
Go out with the Step Brothers.
I like doing it as a duo because Farrell's kind of like can get a little straight laced, and I think the two of them together makes it fun. I like
Or if
that.
it was Farrell and Danny McBride.
yeah,
Yeah,
Danny
it was too.
McBride.
Danny McBride, somebody.
I mean, literally, I could just cast this from This
That's
Is the
what
End.
I'm talking about. A fucking showdown.
I could make this list from just the cast of This Is the End. Probably
Sure.
be really happy. But
Absolutely.
anybody else on there, Kev?
And then I just did another duo, Dave Matthews and Tim Reynolds.
Well,
God.
they're just gonna play music the entire
Yeah,
time.
which is
I'm just
fine.
gonna play
too.
some music.
The Chuck E. Cheese, play some good music at Chuck E. Cheese.
I have a sneaky suspicion Dave Matthews would actually be a really good hang.
He probably
no,
would
he
be.
would be, yeah,
And you know he's gonna join in with the
mean-
animatronic band. He's gonna be up
Yeah.
there just like when the band starts
And
playing.
I met
he
Tim
hops up
Reynolds.
there and he's just
Tim
like,
Reynolds is.
Oh,
you know,
that's crazy.
He's always been a part of that band. You didn't know it.
He'd see,
You take away the Wolfman's mask and he's there.
He'd see you making progress with Christina Hendricks, and he would slowly creep up with his guitar.
No, that's
and
John
start-
Mayer. That's John Mayer.
wow.
And if you have John Mayer at your party, the first thing you ask him is tell me about every famous person you've slept with before you sleep with the most famous person at my party. So that's the only hope you have whatsoever.
Damn, I-
Slowing him down.
He would just be totally positive about the entire experience. He'd be like, everyone here's so beautiful, and the lights and the children. everyone's having a good time. Everyone's having a good time.
That's so great.
Excellent. You want to go?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
I'll knock it out. Same as Nick, I was thinking about a group of people that would be
Werner Herzog.
with synergy.
I could totally see Ben
I
putting.
know.
He's
Well,
on
that'd
my
be
list
awesome,
too.
man.
He's on,
Legitimate
sorry,
guess.
he was on back. He was
No,
on
and
back.
I'm not.
No, I mean it. That's my guess.
And I can't.
Changing to Werner Herzog.
And I can't argue against you because I would also find that to be really fun on my list as well
Yeah.
because of Ben. But wow,
You're all of a sudden
dead
you're
on.
making me realize all the people. I'm just like, oh,
Werner Herzog.
why is it
Oh my
why isn't
God.
Vladi Divac on my list?
Werner Herzog, Vladi Divac, and three other people whose names are difficult to pronounce.
Difficult to pronounce. There you go. Stellan Skarsgård. Skarsgård.
And Brett Favre.
Two D's and the dots over there.
What's the name of the guy who went to Michigan? Chris? What was the king guy who went to Michigan?
Chris Webber?
Chris Webber. I like Chris Webber.
Oh, okay.
His name's easy to pronounce.
Yeah, too easy.
Doesn't fit.
Not,
Too easy,
not,
drill
not,
sergeant.
not Eastern European enough.
Unless
no,
it's two
so-
dots over the E.
So, but I was in the same boat as Nick, where I was thinking about synergy and about like what we're gonna do. So, to preface it, what I'm gonna do with this group is we don't have a dead set plan, but we are sneaking into the green room of a Blake Shelton concert while it is going on.
Wow, what is going on?
While the Blake Shelton concert is going on. And there are a couple of reasons for this.
While magic is happening on stage of the Blake Shelton
I
concert,
love
Nick.
this.
One
Wait,
reason.
hold on. This is the best.
It won't be overshadowed by the concert.
This is an incredible premise. I seriously give you kudos right
I
now.
really wish I was not following this one now.
So
Thanks.
here's the reason why. He has a fucking immaculate taste in bourbon and
George
whiskey.
Clooney, Don Cheadle, everyone from Ocean's. No.
That would be great. It would be great.
You'll get in, but you'll get in.
But you know that we're gonna sneak in. There's gonna be a shit ton of really good booze in the green room back there, and the show's gonna be going
wow.
on. And the
And
best
no
case,
brown fucking M&Ms.
the best case scenario is at the very end of it, Gwen Stefani and him come in and catch us, and then they have to try and chase us out.
Or do you catch them?
I love that. I love that I gave us like carte blanche, like money wise, and Ben still is like,
Oh,
how
yeah.
do I sneak into
So
a
we're gonna
place to
sneak into a
get
place.
cheap,
With-
like good free bourbon?
with people who can obviously afford it.
Wow,
Yeah,
that is
that's the
amazing.
story. That's-
I
But
love
people
it.
who are going to be game, and that's where I start with.
Well done.
My first is Mal himself, Nathan Fillion.
Nice.
So yeah, Nathan Fillion. One, apparently he's a really fun drinking buddy. This has been kind of well established in Hollywood. He's a really fun guy to hang out with. Just kind of an everyman's everyman, and actually goes really well with the second pick, which does the exact same thing. Although he is actually a little bit more straight laced in real life, as Paul Rudd. So him and Paul Rudd, I think you got your laughs pretty much taken care of almost immediately right there.
And your
Until Ryan Reynolds shows
and your
up.
sex appeal.
Unfortunately
I mean,
not.
all of the sexiness too.
So no, and with the whole premise of the fact that we're sneaking into this, green room basically, and then of course, so when the waiter or whatever comes to the green room and sees this group of celebrities, they're going to be famous enough that they're not going to kick them out. Also as well.
Okay.
So that actually brings me on the next one, which brings a little gravitas and somebody who I think I would just really like to hang with because I really enjoy her sensibilities. And I think she's the most talented and probably most underrated actress in Hollywood, and that is Amy Adams.
Ooh, okay.
So Amy Adams seems like a fun person, very,
Yep.
kind of a fun, whatever, who's willing to go with the flow. Same way that J Law is in a way, but J Law is also a pretty at least self-described homebody.
Was J Law in Justice League? I don't think so. Amy
true.
Adams knows how to partay.
True.
Yeah, I mean, I see her. She's like Tom Hanks. She'd be like,
Amy Adams
Yes.
has also had a high level of success and whatever, but I
Yes.
think that she would be game to hang with this kind of fun group for the evening and kind of go with the flow or whatever. My fourth person is Patton Oswalt, who I think is the
you.
one who came up with the entire idea of breaking into Blake Shelton's green room in order to take his whiskey, and is the instigator of the entire thing, and is basically just kind of, we're having a fun time with him. And my last person is another actress that I really admire, who I feel like has always, and the reason why I always like to hear her perspective is because she's been more, not a struggling actor, but somebody who has definitely grinded it out to get her the roles over her long-ish career now. And that's Amanda Peet. Somebody who is
I
fun.
like that.
yeah, she would be fun.
Somebody who is fun and who can hang and has
Eyebrows.
experience. And
Yeah,
I
the
she's got the eyebrows
Yeah.
too. So that's my five. It's
Case
Nathan
there-
Fillion, Paul Rudd,
Somebody
Amy
spills
Adams,
a drink.
Amanda
You're
Peet,
covered.
and Patton Oswalt. and so here's the thing: if Blake Shelton,
I'd be the Jack to her Jill.
if Blake Shelton, and
Nobody's
Gwen,
gonna slip on any beverages.
if Blake Shelton and Gwen Stefani come back in on that, I mean, are they really going to kick us out? Maybe they would join in on the party. Who knows? Maybe
You
we
get
go
5
somewhere else
celebrities,
afterwards.
Ben.
Those are my 5.
I do.
I almost
join
prefer,
in.
I almost
and I
prefer that
still
we get
thought
chased
of
by
one,
security out
and
of
I
the
still
building.
thought of one after that too. I was thinking about Ozzy Osbourne too, just to because he'd
Yet
be
another.
wild, but at the same time he
We're
can't
going to
be
wake up
wild.
tomorrow and
can't
all
walk
of
that.
these people are going to be dead.
Keith Richards,
no.
Keith Richards.
Don't
I
you
mean,
dare put that bad juju on these people. So I mean that's a fantastic list. What do you so your scenario is kind of short in essence, right? It's the length of a Blake Shelton concert, or
like 3 hours.
or the
A lot
after
of
party.
Listen, a lot of things have to go right to break in
like-
Blake Shelton's green room. Okay.
Well,
we go in right after they go on stage. That's like a 3-hour concert.
Who do you think? So you think
do you
Patton's
have to
the
leave
instrumental one of
afterwards?
getting you into snuck into that
yeah,
place?
Yeah,
Okay.
he's the one who kind of breaks us in. What's up? Sorry, Nick, you were making a weird face. What's going on?
I was just trying to figure out what was happening.
Who's secretly a Blake Shelton fan in this group?
All of us?
Are you a Blake Shelton fan?
Not really, no.
Oh, okay.
No.
I was just.
That's a
I mean,
strange
seems
answer
like a nice
for me,
guy.
but-
I
No,
don't
no,
know
but
any of the
I think
songs.
Yeah, I know. Same thing for me. I couldn't name Blake Shelton songs.
No,
so I can't
so
say they're bad.
I think that the big fans are Amy Adams and Patton Oswalt. Actually,
I think Patton's a fan of The Voice, and
Patton's
that's
a
why
fan
he
of The
likes.
Voice. Yes,
like
Amy
that,
Adams is
yeah.
a fan, but then I think that I also think that Paul Rudd is a closet fan of Blake Shelton.
Could be.
I think Paul Rudd likes everything.
Sure.
Like, he reminds me of he's a Hanks. I think he's a. I just like kind of I find something to like in everything.
Sure.
I like it.
And I also, and I purposefully went off odds on male to female ratio because there's not going to be any sort of sexual tension here in this group. It's all going to be very much a platonic hang.
What if
Nobody's getting laid. Nobody's getting laid that night.
So,
No.
so what if I just this off the cuff, Ben? I know this is very difficult for you to do, but imagine the scenario: you are not married. Does that change your picks at all?
No.
Okay. Does it change what you do with your picks at all? There we go. That's exactly what I was looking for. The first answer
How
was
you
immediately
pick your
answered.
picks.
He's still
When you're
thinking on the
picking.
second one. I can see it happening right now. There's a slight boner peeking out from his shorts.
I would
Beth love it?
listen, if I was not married, I would probably be sitting a little closer to Amanda Pete.
I've got a list of porn
What if
stars we didn't get to.
What if she brought her ex TV show mate Melanie Linsky along with her?
Hey, listen, I love Melanie Linsky.
I know you
She's
do.
one of my favorite actresses in the world. But she does not belong in this hang, I don't think.
You're gonna kick Melanie Linsky out of bed to get Amanda Pete in that party. My God,
That's
how
true.
quickly you've gotten.
It's true.
Let fame get to your head. How
I
dare
know,
you?
I'm so sorry. All right, Matt.
Well, so
Batters
you
up.
of course destroyed one of mine by picking the same person as I did, which is
Patton
kind of
Oswalt?
yes, 100%.
Really? Wow.
All right, so here's
Hey, listen, here's the thing. I could switch out Patton Oswalt with Kevin Smith right now.
that works perfectly. So my idea was I wanted my original idea was I wanted to do an old Hollywood party, and I wanted like people with stories from old Hollywood. And one of the people that was on my list originally
They're not allowed.
was Alec Baldwin, who's an insufferable asshole, but has an encyclopedic knowledge of film and loves film. And I realized that's really what I was looking for in my group. So I wanted geeks, but I wanted them to have affinities for the things I have affinities for. So I wanted film geeks, I wanted musical geeks, I wanted TV geeks. That
Like,
was
old Hollywood. I was just like Angela Lansbury.
no. I Helen Mirren was on my list originally because I
there you go.
wanted to hear these old Hollywood stories.
If
Like,
you haven't left a horrible voicemail to your
Remember
caller,
when Murder,
you're not
She Wrote
invited.
was on only one night a week?
So yeah, that my original idea was like I just want to hear all these great old stories. It would be like what was the Favreau show?
Dinner for Five.
Dinner for Five. Like it was gonna be like that. I'm like that's kind of boring. So I want to go younger. And I want to have a night out where we have a great thing. And I can't say I cheated, but this can be put in 24 hours. But I kind of thought of it being more of a weekend where I rented out a theater in London. I looked for this theater online. It's called the Electric Cinema.
I guess I'm an asshole for picking Chuck E. Cheese.
I wanted the venue to be
I told
important.
you the second he sent that text, I knew he had some uber specific.
I did. I wanted to go to the Electric Cinema in London, which is this big movie theater that's got like beds and chairs and all this shit in it. I wanted
Beds and chairs.
Yes, what I wanted to have
dog.
I wanted to have a movie fest in a theater that had a stage where we could do other shit on there, right? I wanted fucking a full-on geek party where it was karaoke and acting and watching movies and that kind of shit. That was my activity.
And you
base.
felt Alec Baldwin was.
No, that's why I didn't think Alec Baldwin would get up on a fucking stage and do karaoke or any of the shit. So I went much younger with
It is
everyone
kind
there.
of cheating. This is kind of cheating.
Okay, so it's 24 hours. It's the same as your fucking Vegas. It's 24 hours. The same thing happens, right? All I wanted was each of us to bring a movie along or a movie scene that we were really passionate about, that all of us knew about, that we could watch and hear their commentary on it. I wanted to hear what movie they brought. I want to do a little karaoke. I want to do a little whatever. It's not I don't know that's cheating anything other than you're going to Vegas and you can go wherever you want. It's the same fucking thing, just 24 hours, right? So I picked these 5 people because I felt they were representative of the geek community that fit in my mold. Patton Oswalt was definitely on there. And Patton, by the way, is the one that's going to probably be the least likely to play along with like a game of gestures or charades or whatever, because he's a little, not too cool for it, but he's a little above
He is
that.
too
A little
cool for
acerbic.
So I picked people that I knew would do shit that other ones wouldn't. The second one, and who actually was number 1 on my list, was Bill Hader. Bill Hader is a fucking movie geek, a TV geek, a film geek. He knows SNL. I can hear SNL stories to my heart's content. It's great. Bill actually beat out Steve Martin, who is my biggest SNL choice. I really wanted to hang with Steve Martin.
That might be an awkward hang.
Bill
from what I
Hader
heard.
beat off Steve
He
Martin.
beat off Steve Martin.
Yeah, when he guest hosted back in 2012.
And of course, the man that wishes he could be as talented as Ben Wilson, Lin-Manuel Miranda, Donald Glover, who I wanted a kind of a cool music vibe, but I also know Donald Glover's a fucking movie geek and old school geek. I wanted that side of it. And Anna Kendrick. And Anna Kendrick is one that I picked because everything I've heard about her is she's a fucking party girl, but she's also can sing. Like, Anna will get up there and do karaoke with Lynn and me. And the rest of them maybe not so much into that shit, but...
My only thing is you only have one girl.
Yes, I picked one girl in the group.
Well, okay.
I'm also very sensitive and female-like in general.
Okay,
so I
this is
figure
true.
I provide enough femaleness with Anna. Anna's less female than I am. I consider in this pick, but yeah, I picked one female and 4 other dudes to hang out with. I mean, and so yeah, I kind of figured that like I wanted the 5 of us to be able to hang out for a period of time and just like enjoy shit with one another. And I want to hear stories too. And I think each of these people probably has a really like at least one really good story in them.
I really like the list. I just feel like you should have picked me instead of Lin-Manuel Miranda.
I mean, listen, Lynn and I are going to go fucking geek out about Lynn and Patton and Bill
joke.
and I know, but Lynn and Pat and I and Bill are going to go talk about Weird Al for an hour easily during that part.
But he's not invited.
Well, why? Yeah, I was going to say.
So he made my
where's
list
Weird
of
Al?
not being invited because Weird Al I'm obsessed with, but I don't think he's a great hang. I don't
No,
think he's a
I
fun party
agree.
hang at
I
all.
agree.
I disagree.
And here's who didn't make my list.
He's a straight edge, but he can hang with anybody.
I don't know, man. I think he gets bored with like we're all getting drunk at this party. I think we are all getting liquored up at this party, and I think he's not into that. I don't have the vegan food. I don't know that I can make. I don't think Weird Al is going to be happy for very long at this party.
You make
He'll
it.
put
Money's
it
no
up.
object. Get him some fucking Impossible
I'll get him
Burger.
some shit, but like I still don't think he's going to hang out for
Get him
like a 24.
Get him a Beyond Burger.
He's
Give an
not staying
unlimited
up.
budget.
He's not staying up all night. I don't see that. And the same. I almost picked Emily Blunt instead of Anna Kendrick. I was very close on that one, but I,
think
thought
Kendrick was a good choice.
Anna's more exciting and a little bit on there. And yeah,
And if she can't make it to your party, hopefully she'll show up at
this
Chuck
is
E.
true.
Cheese.
No, and the only other one that I really was almost on my list. I don't
Ron
think any
Paul.
of
Olivia Wilde?
no, none of you. Olivia Wilde was a thought for a second, but no, this one I don't think any of you would guess. But this is the person that whenever we have these conversations, it's the first person that pops into my head. But I didn't feel it was right for this, and it's Ben Affleck. And I'll tell you why it's Ben Affleck, and that I think
Is it the stories?
yes, 100% yes. I think Ben Affleck has a
I thought about it.
amazing amount of stories inside him of all kinds of shit I'm never going to hear anywhere else. And that's sort of, it's worth it to put up with him being, same as Alec Baldwin. Alec Baldwin's probably going to be kind of an asshole at some point to this where I'm be like, I don't fucking want you here anymore. And Ben Affleck probably going to be the same way, but they're going to tell me like 15 stories that are going to last with me forever. But instead of that, I said I wanted to have a night where I wanted to have, just like any party I've ever thrown here, just a fucking mishmash of crazy fucking shit and watching movies and having an amazing time. So that was my list on there. That's that.
I like it.
Good stuff.
That's it. Anything anyone feels that they... So now that we've all heard each other's lists, Nick...
What about the pre-party?
Nick, who are you most jealous someone else picked that didn't make to your list?
I really like the Anna Kendrick pick a lot.
Me too.
I think she'd be a lot of fun and would also lean a little nerdier, which would be...
I think you should
Would be
replace
fun.
Jennifer Lawrence with Anna Kendrick.
Yeah, that's probably what I was looking for.
Yeah.
You know? That's probably where
She
I was
and
trying
Miley
to
are going
head.
to get along good.
Well, yeah, she would get... They would all get along with anybody. But,
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like that pick. I really like.
Well, and all these
Get
parties
along.
could be happening without us. You
Yeah.
know, we won't be there, but everybody else could be in the same room at the same time.
I think it may have been played up as a joke a little bit, but I really like the Chuck Norris pick a lot. I think that.
I
would
mean,
be
well, he's
incredible.
probably got some stories. You know,
He's got
Fighting
great
Bruce Lee.
stories.
Bruce Lee,
Fighting. I mean,
Walker,
come on.
Texas Ranger.
Well,
I
of
mean,
course.
come on.
Just,
yeah.
I mean, but also just imagine if you picked any of our lists, and
mean-
then just your capper was just like, oh, by the way, Chuck Norris is with us.
I mean,
Like,
how many Dodge
anywhere you
Ram
walk into,
trucks did they go through on that show?
No. I think Ben nails it. I think Chuck Norris is the entry that makes everyone else at your party be like, "Fuck, I want to hear a story." Like Bill Murray is going to go up and be like, "Fuck, I want to hear a Chuck Norris story." Like I got to hear this right now.
That being said, I would gladly trade in my crew for any of the crews that you guys picked. I like them all.
Yeah, I think everybody came up with some really good fucking picks.
My regret
on
is I didn't. You know, everybody wasn't really cohesive, but you know, it's Chuck E. Cheese, so
No, but that's kinda
everybody's
what-
gonna have a good time.
the
don't know that.
cohesiveness is the cheese. You're bringing the people to
So,
run in
you know.
the maze of cheese.
well, I mean, I mean, Kevin's is the best. Like, did I tell you story of all times? Like, did I ever tell you that time I hung out at Chuck E. Cheese with Eric Clapton and
Yeah.
Betty White,
Michael Jordan?
Well, that and
Chuck Norris.
Guess which one of them still has hepatitis C?
well, I like also that in your story, like you have 5 people that are the best of their respective worlds. So at some point, there's going to be a face off of like Michael Jordan like tells a story and Betty was like, that's cute, Mike, but let me tell you about the time that I fucked the Metro
Just
Golden
imagine
Mayor.
how many tickets you're gonna have when you cash out of that place.
Yeah.
I mean, you're gonna get every fucking stuffed animal on the wall.
Oh, you put Jordan on the hoops? One? Yeah.
Again, I will go back to my idea of Insta story of you playing Papa Shot at the same time as Chuck Norris, Michael Jordan, Betty White. I mean, that video would go viral in 2 seconds. That'd be the-
Especially when Kevin wins. And
Well.
you're like, you won't believe who beat Betty White, Michael Jordan,
Yeah,
and Chuck
because
Norris
I'm not gonna
at a
invite
Papa
people-
Shot.
Yeah.
and Christina Hendricks was watching.
Yeah.
No, those are what he's shooting with.
I thought kids were sucking on her tits in the background.
Yeah. So, yeah.
He's just playing with boobs and pops them up there right there. Perfect.
Jesus.
Oh, so
That's the shot as it goes across all of all the Papa shots, and then it's
The
just you
ping,
playing.
then the ping pong ball trick. That's
we call Papa Shots pop all the shots. But I'm so sorry to
Sorry.
everyone that's been discussing the podcast in the last 5
I-
seconds, but
I didn't
that's
mean
so funny.
I didn't mean to objectify Christina Hendricks, but she's beautiful and
She is. First of all, your wife bears a strong resemblance to
I'm aware.
Christina Hendricks.
I'm aware.
So, in
aware.
fairness, I understand. I've cracked the Ben nut at this point. That sounds really sorry.
Just
That
turn
sounds
it
really
off.
terrible. That sounds
Turn
really
it
I
off.
could have
terrible.
easily said Anna
Say
Kendrick
goodnight.
too.
That
Like I
sounds
think
really
Anna
terrible.
Kendrick still would have worked as a
Say
good
goodnight,
replacement.
Gracie. Just end the podcast.
No.
Press and record.
Ben does not like to talk about any attraction to any women, but Christina Hendricks is like, "Yep, have no problem with that one."
It's true.
Yeah, it's close to home. Oh man. Thanks for the late miss, Beth. Anyway, thanks. All right, so we appreciate you listening to this week's.
Don't say another word.
Welcome to the most in focus sound you've heard in your life of the most horrible things you've heard in focus sound. On the New Way podcast this week, thank you so much for Kevin Thompson coming into studio this week and
Thanks,
helping us
Kevin.
out for it.
Thanks
Literally
for having me.
literally last minute. Kevin had a day and a half to prepare for this, so thank you so much. And we hope you tune in next week for our Oscar podcast, and then we have a lot of shit in line for 2019 right now that we are working on. We want to be giving you guys what you want. So please, if you're a new listener, reach out to us. We are there. Like literally, go on lastpineprod.com if you want to find us. Comment on a podcast, review our podcast. We're totally into that. We want to get bigger and better this year. So please share us with your friends and your family. Ryan's already shared this with one of his college friends.
but he's not left us a review or a 5-star rating.
This is, by the way, I think I'm the only one that's left us a review and a 5-star rating on our own podcast. But yeah, please review us. And also, if you want to hear about something, if you like the podcast, if you're kind of a casual listener, We will literally listen to yours. If you tell us, someone writes us an email tomorrow that says, hey, I want to hear you guys spend 1.5 hours on Paw Patrol. Ben knows a lot about this already.
I know a little bit about Paw
I will
Patrol,
research
more than you
it.
guys.
We will research and do an episode on Paw Patrol for you guys. So you kind of you can be the creator of all of this if you want to. So thank you so much for listening to The New Way.
Who on Paw Patrol is more likely to die of a drug overdose?
I think it's the Schnauzer because of that album we released. But anyway, thank you so much for listening to The New Way podcast. We will talk to you next week, and cheers.
And cheers.